with all the warm weather we've been having, it's been making me think about getting out in my boat. I built a boat last summer and finished it just as winter was coming on, so I didn't actually get to put it in the water. So there are a few things that I need to finish up before we put it in the water. So this is the rudder blade that I've made. And when I made it, it didn't have these holes in it, but it had this hole in it here, and the rudder blade pivots, so it kicks up if you hit something into the water with it. So I had thought about putting a complicated, not complicated, but a system of lines and pulleys and whatnot, so you could pull the rudder down when you needed to, and you could pull the rudder up when you needed to. And I said, well, started thinking about that, and it was going to cost me a fair amount of money in complication. So I figured, well, what I'll do instead is I'll just put some weights in this rudder blade so that it'll go down on its own with the weight, and then I'll just have one line that'll pull it up. So that's what I decided to do. I found the formula for doing this, for figuring out the area that's the submerged area, and then the density of the plywood, and then the density of the lead. And this is lead that I bought off of eBay. And figured out how much lead that I needed, and I needed about 70 ounces for this particular blade. I'll post the link to that site. It's Jim McCallick's site, and he's got some really cool designs for boats, and lots of boats of his type of boats have been built over the years. So I'm going to, so anyway, I measured out what I needed here. I'll cut this out. I'm not going to show you all of that because it's just cutting wood, but I'll cut this out. And then I'm going to use this as my crucible. I'll go outside and I'm going to melt this lead down. I'm going to pour it in here. I'm going to show you how I do that. So this is a new thing for me, so hopefully everything will go okay, but you'll get to see it. Okay, I've gotten it all cut out. Let me show you a couple things that I did. So I cut it out, and then I took my rasp and I put a beveled edge all the way around on both sides. And hopefully when I cast the lead in here, the lead will go down into that bevel, and that'll help hold it in there. I also took some bronze nails, like this, just little bronze nails. Put some bronze nails in here. When I cast the lead will cast around these nails, and that'll help hold it in there as well. So you want to use something like bronze or brass or stainless steel or something like that won't rust. So I'm pretty prepped. The next thing I'll do is I'll take this sheet of steel, and I'm going to clamp that on the underside here, get it all leveled up, make sure I have it cleaned out pretty good, and get it all leveled up and clamped down, and then I'll heat the lead up and pour it in there. Okay, I've got things starting to heat here, so see, there's my coffee can crucible sitting on a burner. And there's the lead inside, and then I have this all clamped up, and you can see I've got steel here in the bottom, and the nails in here to hold the lead. Everything's all level. There's my handle. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait for the lead to melt, and then I'll show you how I pour it. We'll see how it goes. All right, I think it's warm enough. Enough. Okay, I'm going to put the second towards the last little bit in there. Hopefully this is a good idea. clean as I wanted it, but we'll see if we can fix that later on. Okay, I want to give you a close-up look at this. So that's what she looks like. This is going to cool for a couple of hours, but you can see, I don't know whether pouring that second time was a good idea or not, but now that I have, I'm going to have to deal with it. But so I think some of the things that I might be able to do is I might be able to peen some of that out with a hammer, get that down in there. There's some excess lead on there, so I am going to have to take that off somehow. So probably with a rasp or a grinder. Anyway, but that's what she looks like, and we'll let that cool, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do. I got the lead casting in the rudder all cleaned up. I'll show it to you. So here you can see, this is this kind of maroon colored stuff here is fairing compound. This is just a mixture of epoxy and it's a special plastic called phenolic microballoons, and it's just something that's very sandable. I'll show you the other side. This was the side where it had really humped up, and you can see that the top of the lead is all scuffed up. I had to use a rasp. I also took a torch and melted the top, and then used a putty knife to kind of scoop some of the most of the lead away that was sticking up. But other than that, I just used a rasp and then used some sandpaper. Now, it's really important when you do that kind of thing with lead is that you want to wear some kind of respirator, which I did. And this is also, here again, fairing compound. The torch scorched the wood a little bit right here, but I think it'll be okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to coat this with a thin layer of epoxy, and then I'll go ahead and repaint it and set it up on the boat.